Welcome to Portrait, where biography meets art. While we profile an inspirational Montrealer, a homegrown artist will simultaneously create a live portrait of our guest. Today, hip-hop sensation Annakin Slayd inspires visual artist Antoine Tava. Amassing over 3.5 million views with Montreal sports anthems and videos, Annakin Slayd is our city's music and sports icon. With artwork showcased on an international level, Antoine Tava is a Montreal artist, muralist, and illustrator who has made waves with his mix of pop art and high fashion. Let's watch as each line tells a story. Annakin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Adina.
So let's start at the beginning.
I came from kind of a lower middle class family. My mom comes from a small village in Greece, so she was classic, you know. The only thing that matters is that we were fed, and she married my dad, who is an Anglo-Canadian who grew up in the East End, and so it was a very interesting combination. My dad was into sports. My mother worked for Charles Bronfman at Seagram's, so we were lucky enough to get really good seats in the really cool days of the Expos, like the early 80s, where they had the tricolor uniform and Gary Carter and Andre Dawson and Tim Raines. And so I saw baseball close up and I saw the Expos close up. Moved to New York City. When I came back, I felt like I needed to change, so I just experimented with music, and hip-hop in particular, and I just fell in love. I fell in love with the whole process, from writing, recording, to mixing, to performing.
Were there people in your life that helped inspire you or helped motivate you?
Any kid has their teachers that they really look up to, and I remember my grade 6 English teacher. I still have the yearbook where she says, I think one day you're going to be a great writer. I did a song and video for the English Montreal School Board. I got to talk about those formative years and the teachers that inspired me, and I got to mention Mrs. Verratti.
Book cover, 20 years now, paragraph still in my head, and this is what Mrs. Polly Verratti said. If you only have one life, then why not take it all? If you're reaching for the sky, why not shoot for the stars?
And the more music I made, the more interest I got, and then we get into throwing sports into it, and we get to my half songs, which sort of took my career to another level. 2008, when the Canadians were top of the conference. The last time we won a cup was 1993, and it seems like the closest we've gotten since. So, you know, it felt a little like 1993. That was like, oh wow, that's the hook of the song right there.
I believe that it's meant to be, and it feels a little like 93. With failing hands we hold it high and raise number 25 to the sky.
You write what you know, and the only thing we have is what we feel as far as artists, and you have to start from there. As odd as it is for a hip-hop artist to be making songs about hockey, it wasn't odd for me. It's part of this tradition, excitement, to not only be excited about the game itself, but be excited about the history of the franchise, the colors, and it comes down to everything. Montreal is where hockey started on many levels. The first games were played here. The roots of the NHL are here. They drafted here for years and years and years. So I think hockey, and the Canadians in particular, are so part of our culture.
Please tell us about your favorite sports heroes.
There's a few exceptions of heroes that transcend from the sports world into kind of the greater good, if you will. With Maurice Richard, the Rocket, who not only was a fierce competitor and an amazing player and set records in the National Hockey League, he was a spokesperson for his people. He's so important to our city and so important to the country and our culture. He just wanted to play hockey, but he knew that what he was doing transcended sports.
Habs Empire, are you ready to rock it?
We all wore the same costume as Maurice Richard did, the red, white and blue costume of the Montreal Canadiens.
Yo, we rock the sweater, we rock it proud, rock like Carrier, we rock it loud, the one that say Ash go and let the whole world know.
wow, the Liberal Party leader just sent me a video of himself for my video, you know, and now he's the Prime Minister. Everybody in Montreal has a story about how Gary Carter did something out of his way to be generous. He loved Montreal so much, he gave so much back, did so much for charity, and that's why there's a street named after him here, because he's that important. He gets brain cancer and he dies incredibly prematurely, and it shakes the foundation of, you know, us as Expos fans and me as a person. I knew I had to do some sort of tribute, so I started writing this song. People come up to me and say, your song about the kid is just, it's my way of remembering him. Gary's daughter, Christy, came up to me at an event once, and she said, thank you so much for making that, because she could hardly get it out. She said that my son now can, through your video, get to know their grandfather. And it's probably the most satisfying thing that's happened in my career. And I think Jackie Robinson is one of those who is not only a hero to baseball and to sports in general, but he's a hero to the world, considering that 10, 15 years before the civil rights movement really got going, he was kind of the one who broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball. And I would say he's my ultimate sports hero, partly because he played here in Montreal. And I think that's something that as Montrealers, we should always be proud of, that 70 years ago, somebody said, Branch Rickey, he said, you know what? The world is not, or America is not ready to have a black player in Major League Baseball. But if we send him up to Montreal, they're a lot more open over there, and they will welcome him, and they will set the standard for what the rest of the country can feed off of. And that's what happened. And that's something as Montrealers that I know I'm so proud of.
You know, you've stayed in Montreal and you've blossomed here. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I'm lucky that I was able to find this niche and not only be able to do the work that I love to do, but also be seen as sort of a personality. And it proved to me that if you build yourself up properly, there's an opportunity and there are many reasons to stay. And we all want to stay because we love the city so much.
What do you have to say to all the people watching? What kind of words can you provide that would help them see their ideas come to fruition?
You can think grand, and you should go for it, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is to be ready. Be prepared, do your work. When things start falling into place, you jump on it.
Hi guys.
Wow.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Good.
Antoine, bravo.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. As I was listening to Annakin's inspiring stories, I could tell that you were really a big fan of the Expos and the Canadians, and that's a big part of your life. So I want to do this type of X-ray into your heart and see that in your heart you have the Canadians really inside of you, you know.
It's really creative how kind of like branches of the arteries are a part of the logo. That's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
And thank you for making my jawline so much more
Mitch
impressive
really
than it actually
yeah,
is.
nicely structured.
Yeah, that guy's a star. He's right there. Look at that jaw. Amazing. Thank you so much. Anthony.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.